Hail, Metal Nation, it is I, Tim, that is Doug, and we... Oh, wait.
We got a great big banner that says Timmy loved Judas Priest.
There we go, all right, and we are reviewing Benediction's 2025 album, Ravage of Empires. Right? That's the one I listened to.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Excellent.
Not Behemoth.
Right. Yeah, if you were expecting the Behemoth review, I have some bad news for you. All right. Well, I redid this whole soundboard, as you know, and it's like impossible to find all the sounds. Here we go. Behemoth. All right, let's talk about which studio are you in? I'm still in the Judas Priest one.
This is I don't know. This is our green room, actually, our West Coast green room.
I like the carpet
we discuss.
You'd think I'd be familiar with these rooms, but I'm not. So yeah, there's the pentagram carpet and the couch out of the 70s.
You paid the bill.
I like the stained glass on the
I sent
door.
you the invoice.
Well, that reminds me, we need patrons, more patrons. The Zoom bill came up, and I was able to pay it out of the Patreon money. So thank you, patrons. I need like a cash register sound, but all I got is this. So, did you have to buy a custom exit sign or instead of exit?
Yeah, no, I went. There's down the street. There's a guy who does like does window signs still because they haven't left the 1940s out here. So that was like a remainder thing. He fucked up. I just took it. Did it get us into code?
Yeah, it's like, you need an exit sign. It's like we have an exit sign plus an extra letter. Okay, so this review is our second one of the year, and we're in July. So, I would say it's been a light year for must-review albums. I realize my microphone is fading in and out of existence. There we go. That should be less distracting, right? So, Benediction. Let's just fill out our spreadsheet because longtime fans know the whole point of this podcast is to quantize the metalness of things. That's one of our tenets. It's actually on the poster on the opposite wall that from Doug that you can't see on camera. So this is Ravage of Empire.
The codex will eventually encompass every metal album released, and we'll get there in our own damn time.
That's right. And if there's anything you want us to consider reviewing, leave us a message, and we'll consider reviewing it. Anyway, so genre. I listened to the Digitals one. I did not buy this CD, which is rare for me. So.
I got it on CD, so
nice.
We have one physical copy, which I think is one of our rules.
Yes, well,
unless you send us something to review that is digital only, we'll review by request.
Well, it is a column in the spreadsheet. What's the format we reviewed? And it's the maximum of the format. So digital being the least, the least of formats. Since you reviewed the CD, I'll put down that we reviewed the CD format. Genre for Benediction. I don't think this can be called anything but death metal. This is like death metal in its purest form.
Yeah, 100%. I'll say I've been thinking about this because the term of art the kids are using these days, and I have seen the Benediction and some other bands use it, as they'll call it old school death metal.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like death metal
that. Yeah, everything else takes the adjective. Fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
We don't know what death metal is.
We're tripping over each other to tell them they're wrong. Yeah. No, this is death metal, and then you went and ruined it with your crap. With the newer death metal stuff. Ravage of Empires came out April 4th, 445 on Nuclear Blast Records. It has 11 tracks, totaling 47 minutes, 25 seconds. How are you feeling about that album length? Like all the tracks are like 3-ish, 4-ish minutes. There's one that's above 5, but it's rather...
Yeah, no, there's nothing pretentious on this record. So real quick background. I'm not a super huge Benediction fan. I've heard most of their, I think, so they're, came out of the British death grind scene. Birmingham, England has produced, it's the most metal city in the world. Judas Priest, Black Sabbath.
Yeah, those are the big
Zeppelin. I don't think
those
they
are the big
identify
two.
for Birmingham. And then on the death metal side, we got Napalm Death, Godflesh, Benediction, Bolt Thrower, just to name four. So I think Benediction started off, actually, their first album has the Napalm Death singer on it.
Oh, I didn't realize Barney
The guy who's
Greenway.
on this record, I think, came about, my internet sucks here.
Just power through it. Worst case, you can turn off your video, and that'll help.
I'm trying to turn everything off, and I could try a mobile hotspot if this doesn't clear up. Yeah, so they've been around, I want to say, formed in the late 80s.
Yep, 89 in Birmingham.
And they are probably, like, if you had to tier death metal, right, the stuff that's kind of broken into the public consciousness would be the very top, like Cannibal Corpse. Then you have your Morbid Angel, Autopsy, all that. Benedictions may be there, maybe a one tier below. They've been a consistently popular band for their entire existence, 30 plus years now. And do figure in some of the big death metal stories kind of tangentially. I believe the death lineup, the good one that was blown up in the mid 90s happened because the rest of Death performed death songs at a Benediction show on an off day. They were touring together, and Chuck didn't like that. It was disrespectful.
Yeah, and then didn't they tour without Chuck? He like refused to tour with them. I think that was like after that, and so they went anyway.
Yeah, I guess. And,
that's wild.
Then we get the entire new lineup on the next record. Yeah, so they're they put in the time. I think the band members. I think the band's been fairly fluid.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that now. There are two guitarists have been the same throughout their history, Peter Ruwinski and Darren Brooks. And then on bass, they're on their fourth bassist, but it's Paul Adams, was in the band in the late 80s, early 90s. Then Frank Healy, and then a guy who's unfortunately named Dan Bate. And I'm sure, yes, I'm looking for a Mr. Bate. Everyone thinks it's a prank call. And then the current bassist, this is his first studio album he's been on, is Nick Sampson. And then they've just been through drummers like Tissue Paper, one of whom is Nick Barker. So that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like he was in Benediction after he left Dimmu Borgir. So like mid-aughts through 2011, it looks like. So that's cool.
Yeah, like I said, I said in my comment, yeah, the guitarists have been consistent. They've had a couple vocalists, and they had one bassist for like you just said, for 91 to 2017. So just that drummer, really.
Yeah. So the singer situation is interesting because they had the guy from Napalm Death. Then Dave Ingram was on 4 albums, and then he left. He was replaced by Dave Hunt, who sounds like another prank call. And he was the longest serving singer, only putting out 2 albums though. Cause like these bands, they put out lots in the beginning and then space them out as they get old. So, but he left, right at looks like the end of 2018. And then they brought Dave Ingram back. So
yeah, he's had
the singer on the I'm assuming all the 90s albums are the classic ones. The singer of the classic albums is back on the latest 2 albums, so that's cool. Yeah,
I know Dave Ingram was in Bolt Thrower for 6 years. I think probably the first death metal album I ever bought was Bolt Thrower, Honor, Valor, Pride, the Columbia Best Buy in probably 2001, back when you could buy a CD in a mass market store. That was his only recorded record with Bolt Thrower. And I think he's had some some more solo-oriented bands that have been reasonably popular. Benediction, believe they're like the Grand Leveler and especially Transcend the Rubicon are probably their acknowledged classic albums. Scriptures for 2020 was fantastic. Great return to form. I do want to call out the cover art to Grind Bastard. They're like
Hang on a second then.
1998 We Don't Know What to Do record.
Grind Bastard. Well, they don't know what to name it either. Oh, that's such a 90s cover.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to
A Judas Priest cover in the middle of the record.
Right, it looks like a freeze frame from an early 90s music video done on computers cheaply, and they changed their logo to just like block letters.
It's like a pitch shifter B-side.
Well, when did they go back to? All right, so like the next album, they just went back to their logo. Thankfully,
it's kind of a baroque logo for a true death metal band.
Yeah, it looks like
Spectrum Gothic Doom.
I was thinking it looks like something a high school kid would draw on his notebook for his new band Benediction.
I mean, I'm sure that's where it came from. Yeah.
Yeah. Killing Music. The cover for that looks like it was generated by AI, but it came out in 2008 because it's just kind of like a bunch of elements jammed together. Scriptures, interestingly, Scriptures and Ravage of Empires kind of look like they belong together. It's the same color palette.
Yeah, and then I think, you get a very cold colors gradient, and then a very warm.
Yep.
At the same time, I think Transcend the Rubicon sort of has that too.
Neat. All right. Well, let's talk about this album. Well, I mean, like,
yeah, we should talk about it in order.
The songs on this
album. Have a place to talk about album art.
Yeah, we'll circle back to it. All right. None of the songs. So on this album, it's just like, it's straightforward. Here's a death metal album. Here's 11 death metal songs. Here you go. Like, I feel like you could shuffle it up and it would be the same album. There's only like a couple times where something like stuck out to me as not just like straightforward death metal. And one of them was in Crawling Over Corpses, when he says, that's track 7. He goes like, I'm crawling over corpses for you. Like, it just sounds like a love song.
And is that I have you naked on my fucking rack?
Yep, that's the one.
Which I swear is also a lyric on one of the Scripture songs.
Well, maybe it's the same rack.
Thieves.
And then I think on the title track, there's a part where he's like, it's just him talking.
And you get to some like a kind of comical demonic laughs from time to time in some of the songs.
I feel doesn't it open with it? I think like the first
so, yeah.
thing. Yeah. It's
I think they don't take themselves they're a serious band, but they know what they're doing here.
Yeah, they open
like, I swear
it opens with
yeah, and the way like Grind Bastard slipped into Death Groove, and they lead into it a tiny bit on this record, probably just enough so it kind of needles the death metal purists.
What do you say?
Like you get some of that detuned noodling in a few songs.
Yeah. What I like about do we kind of in the I want to talk about the production, but that's probably more under presentation. So back to the songwriting. What I like about this is it is riff-based death metal, which all the best death metal is. Every death song wasn't just like, I want to go on a long rant about how terrible death metal is now. But like the classic death metal, they have like riffs that repeat and structures to the songs, right? And that's what Benediction has done here. And Death is the other classic example. Morbid Angel did it too. It's not just like riff salad. It's like a structure. It's like a riff sandwich. It's been structured and it repeats, you know. So I think that alone makes all these songs so much better than typical death metal. And there's a reason these guys are classic. And I'm not familiar with the back catalog, but if it's anything like this, you know it's going to be good. With the possible exception of the one with the blood where they ditched their logo and maybe like tried to go grunge or industrial. That's my expectation of that.
Yeah. What and like the songs on that are really long too. It's an interesting record. But yeah, I mean, it's the classic death metal thing where probably the band's truly best records are those early 90s ones where there just wasn't the money or apparently the know-how to produce them very good. So like songwriting on Transcend the Rubicon and the Grand Leveler, great. Production, mud. So like this one and Scriptures, and I haven't listened to Killing Music yet, but this one and Scriptures just kick ass, and I think it's sort of capturing what the band's always been about at its best on the production side. But it's like there's almost every song on here, it's mid tempo, very entertaining. There's only a few moments on a couple of songs that drag a tiny bit, but it's an incredibly consistent record.
Another place I want to knock is in the finality of Perpetuation. He says, "Crank it up." I think that doesn't quite work in a death metal band.
I think that's the one about syphilis or about a venereal disease.
Feel that burn, obsessive addiction, Onani machine, prolific manipulation, time to vent your spleen. How long you got? 7 seconds long.
And I do appreciate how their lyrics are kind of all over the place instead of, just autopsy or Cannibal Corpse style violence exclusively.
I'm looking to see if I can. It's probably in the booklet who the songwriting is credited to, because I wonder if you get a mix of that subject matter from different people submitting lyrics, or one guy has just like lots of weird interests.
I think Dave Ingram does all of the lyrics. Yeah, all lyrics written by Dave Ingram.
Oh, so he just has a wide variety of subjects to inspire him. So the production. This album sounds fantastic. It is very crisp. It's still human, but like you can hear everything. Even with the guitars are very distorted, but they're very clear. The drums cut through. You can hear everything, and you can hear the bass. It's not jumping out at you, but you can definitely hear it. It's there. But what surprised me most about the production of this album, and I don't have any other Benediction albums to compare it to, but you can understand the lyrics, which blew my mind. Like I was sitting there like understanding everything. So like everything about it is just fantastic production wise. Like if you're putting out a death metal album, this should be your reference. This is what it should sound like.
Yep, not just blast beat and a salad of the 100 riffs.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much attention to the drums, but yeah, you make a good point. It's not just blast beats constantly. It's like it's I wouldn't say
actual
drum
songs
grooves.
That follow traditional structure, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and but yeah, the drumming's more interesting than your standard. How fast can I blast here and how long? And like, I'll make my fills too busy, like he has the right amount of energy and the right amount of restraint on that energy. Yeah. I want to give the production and the performance a perfect score, tempered by the song, by the song, writing.
Yeah. The very consistent, or are there any, the Psycho's Sister, the title track, maybe that's a weaker track, that picks it back up for the title track at the very end. But it's hit after hit as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
The potential problem I can see with this is if this is what you get from a Benediction album, kind of like I have the same thing with Cannibal Corpse. Like, you don't need to buy every Cannibal Corpse album unless you really like it. That kind of thing. Like, if the other album's like this, I probably won't bother to go and get it, you know? Which is like the curse of a lot of metal bands. If you keep doing the same thing, people stop paying attention
like
to
I
you.
love Primal Fear, but I haven't bought anything since Rule Breaker, and it's not that they're bad.
But also, if you evolve and change, everyone gets mad also. So
I will say the scriptures sounds this good, but there's a little more variety. They don't just do the same thing.
Oh, that's good. All right, well, let's talk about the artwork, and then we can throw some scores into the spreadsheet. And then I want to address something I found.
We got the kid from that Metallica video floating above a nightmarish labyrinthine city.
You're talking about the guy from Through the Never movie?
Yeah.
Because he has the hood. Yeah. but he's evil now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, and
I think he's got caught in the Genesis chamber, and he's 1,000 years old.
I feel like this reminds me of a Mortal Kombat 2 level, the portal. Only he's not standing on the bridge where they fight. He's like somewhere else, but the portal's behind him. But did you notice
Shang Tsung, like?
Did you notice the kid from Through the Never is glowing? So not only is he floating, he's also
I didn't.
No. I mean on this artwork.
In this behind, yeah. And it's a kind of a portal or an eye, probably.
Yeah, I think it's a portal because it looks like the city is crumbling and being sucked in a maelstrom around the portal. So you can see it's kind of crumbling, but because the tops of the shrines are being ripped off. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I think this is very similar, like the kind of like ancient ruins thing. I think they do in Transcend the Rubicon. I think there's some sort of callbacks, and I think this is a different artist, but the guy who did the Memoriam art that we liked did their original art that I think this is drawing inspiration from.
Let's talk about the logo real quick, because we did talk about it, but they have it's outlined, right? And so the top of the outline is just an outline. The bottom of the outline, below the logo, it's like bleeding, right? It's like drippy. But then they got like a monk on one side, and then like an evil ghoul monk on the other side. And the monk on one side is holding the cross straight up, and the evil ghoul monk is holding his cross upside down. And
it's pretty good.
Like, I realize they've had this forever, but I don't know. It's a little goofy to me.
Well, I do think it sort of captures, because it's not it's an imprecise logo, right? Which kind of fits in the death grind mentality that they came out of. And I think they do it because you can leave out the outline, which I think they sometimes do, or include it. It's like a 2-layer logo.
Yeah. I don't know if I love it. I mean, I like the ghoul guy, but I don't know. I have to think about that. All right.
Well, if it hasn't changed in 30 years, that's the metal answer.
All right. Well, let's talk about the trueness / metalness of this album. I think we've hit many of this. This is very true and very metal. Like, it's just classic death metal. You can't get much more metal than that.
Yep, and they know who they are. They play all the death grind fests in Europe. We just missed them. They were at Maryland Death Fest.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah, they do the rounds. They know who their fans are.
Well, we should have reviewed this in April. Why didn't you bring it up then? See, you did bring it up then. That's the joke. You've been wanting to do this album for months. Okay.
We got it out the same year.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment. All right, scores. So we do the music, the presentation, and the trueness / metalness. separately and then average them, and that's your score. And Mark was complaining that the Dream Theater album got knocked down, like its total score got knocked down a whole lot because we all scored the cover very low because it's like crappy AI trash. And I maintain that you can have a great album, but if you fuck up the cover, you need to be brought down a few pegs. So that is why we do it. And if you need more information, we did a Codex episode. Okay, score. Music. I got to give the music probably I'm hovering between 8 and 9 because it's fantastic. But how often am I going to be reaching for this album? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm fine with an 8 because I think Scriptures is slightly better, and I would call that like a borderline classic at 8.5 to 9 territory. So I'm good with 8.
Yeah, and we do have separate scores for this. We have different scoring methods for different things. So we're not agreeing on a score. We give a score in this, and I know this because I have the spreadsheet. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm sticking with 8. Okay, presentation. The production is great. The cover is very good. I want to say those average out to an 8, throwing out all sorts of 8s. And I'm worried this might inflate the score. But also I don't have the CD. So how's the rest of the CD package?
Good. What do we expect from a metal release? We expect, all the lyrics printed in it.
Yeah. What I would like is lyrics with background art behind all the lyrics, or some kind of design in each page of the booklet. Obviously a booklet, photos of the band, a big text block of like production credits or thanks or something. So lyrics and something else. And then I would prefer.
There are good band pictures.
Oh, nice.
It looks like the song art, full lyrics. Those are the song. It's just a blow up of the album art asset. And we get the band photo.
Oh, nice. I like that.
They look appropriately devilish and old as shit, as they should. We get the very small and detailed credits.
Is there artwork on the CD and under the CD?
It looks like the CD is the eye.
That's cool.
But it's not much of. And actually the tray art is the same.
I like that they did something, instead of just a color.
Yeah, and the rear, it looks like they commissioned full, vinyl front and back art. It's different than just a faded version of the zoom in.
I feel it. I bet that's the trend now is, for the vinyl release, you pay all the money for front and back art. And then you kind of punt on the inside as do the booklet as cheaply as possible because CDs are on their way out. Unfortunately, I'm going to keep buying them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So I think that's as good as you can expect.
Yeah, agreed. I'm also an 8.
Man. And we talked about how true and metal this is. I'm going to give the metalness a 9. Oh, this is going to be hard to beat. This might be the album of the year.
If we only review one record.
2 records.
No, more are coming. I'll go, it's a 9.
Oh man, we have perfectly identical scores. Well, that beat the Dream Theater album by quite a lot. And these are absolute. So we can compare the score to previous years. So was that 8.3? So it's better than Dream Evil. It's better than Winter Sun. These are last year's albums. Better than Last Will and Testament. Better than Ministry. Slightly worse than Borknagar. What's that?
Factual statements.
Yeah. See, it all works out. All right. So there are the one thing I wanted to address. There are 2 reviews on Metal Archives. One by the user Pitstop gave it a 90%. And he did it like the day it came out, or like less than a week after. Basically, talks about how great it is, right? But the other review is by Hames Jetfield, which I do have to applaud him on his brilliant name. But he says they have a drought of ideas, and he scored it 56%. And he's basically, he's saying, like, he's glad Dave Ingram came back. It's been a long time since Scriptures, but he didn't get much excitement from the album. And I'm just like, what ideas does he want? This is classic death metal. Like, there's not much new ground to cover. You know, I just want to know what the expectations of Hames Jetfield here are.
I think it's a fair point. They know the box. They deliver in that box and push at the edges a bit by introducing the tiniest bit of the sort of the groove style, a few songs. What more do you want?
Well, one thing he suggests.
Oh man, he gave Grind Bastard a higher score.
Yeah, well, I hadn't looked into what else he reviewed. That was my next step. But he does suggest that they cut it down from 11 tracks to 8 or 9 to reduce the monotony. You're listening to death metal. Like,
yeah, there is. I mean, it is just endless mid-tempo, but there are some songs with slower sections that are appropriately spaced out across the record. To the extent variety is available to the style, this record does it.
Ravage of Empires is so typical and predictable for Benediction material with maximally imitative death metal that it can't get any more so. I don't demand anything groundbreaking from them. Well, I don't want any novelties in their style. I only demand that the next premier albums of the Brits be followed by a more noticeable possibility of distinguishing their albums from what they released previously, because it's rather difficult to expect completely youthful energy now. I think what this guy's problem is he doesn't realize, I think he got to the game late. So if like you watch Citizen Kane, you know, I'm not saying Benediction is as good as Citizen Kane, but if you watch Citizen Kane, you're like, what's groundbreaking about this? Like, it seems like every movie. Or The Godfather. This seems like every gangster movie. Or The Great Outdoors with Dan Aykroyd. This seems like every camping movie. Well, those movies like set up the framework that everyone imitated afterwards. These guys pretty much invented or popularized the style. And now you're complaining that it's not different than their earlier style. Like, I think he doesn't see the forest for the trees. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, right. I'm just looking at. I'll give him credit. He's not given 100% or 3%. It's not. There's actual the gradient to how he scores records. He hasn't reviewed any of the acknowledged classic early 90s Benediction records, but he only gave Scriptures 65%. So it doesn't seem like the biggest Benediction guy. Really likes Death though.
Yeah, he does listen to lots and lots of death metal, or at least reviews lots and lots of death metal. He gave some bad scores.
Yeah.
Creator, Hypocrisy, Cryptopsy. Well, that's the Unspoken King. That makes sense. He gave the Morbid Angel album a bad score. So, like, he seems to be accurate in a lot of opinions, but
yes, okay.
But I think he's incorrect on a lot of these.
Good. He's only reviewed the not completely shit In Flames records.
Let's see what here are some of. So if you agree with that guy, here are some 100% albums. Death Human, okay. Individual Thought Patterns, Immolation Here and After. Oh, lots of Immolation. He likes Immolation and Death, and the first Cynic album, and Atheist. Well, there's your problem. He likes all the prog stuff.
Yeah.
Demolich, Vector. That's weird. He gave Grand Declaration of War by Mayhem a perfect score. I'm not sure about that. And Necrophagist. Yeah, he likes too many notes. That's what he likes. Well, anyway, but hard to argue with a name like Hames Jetfield. That's brilliant. All right. Well, until next time, Metal Nation, make sure your comeback albums sound like your breakthrough albums. Or not. I don't care. But we'll give it a bad review if I'm looking for the outro music.
Penalize creative thought.
That's right. That's right. You stay in the box and you don't change the box. But if you do, it's boring. And then, so you need to change the box. And if you do, I'll get mad at you. So it's a catch-22. That's a band too, isn't it?
Remember, if you the slightest hint of selling out, you're dead.
That's right. That's right. I can't believe they had Nick Barker on drums. They got rid of him, so they got their credibility back. But I'm just stalling to see how long we can drag this out. All right, until next time.